Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and for. Make God what I seen to make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red, I. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta, and sell it out, and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta, I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black? Big him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Jamaicans have decided their direction. It is not what many of us would have wanted, but it is what the people have decided. And in a democracy, it calls for time for us to respect the vote by fraud or not. The people have spoken. Both party won yesterday and both party have lost. That I will explain in my own words. Good morning and welcome to the aftermath of what was a nail-biting election. And personally, I want to say congratulations to the People's National Party. You have done yourself well. Democracy has been restored in our parliament. One thing we know for sure, the Prime Minister can no longer run raid through the legislative process of our parliament. Neither can we see the return of the Prime Minister's wife as Speaker of the Parliament. So a level of democracy has been restored to our Parliament, where Andrew Holness can no longer come to Parliament in the dead of night, tabling a legislation and have it passed in one sitting of Parliament. So we must congratulate the People's National Party for rebalancing democracy in our country. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the aftermath. A lot of you, a lot of us are disappointed. I'm not so disappointed in the People's National Party. I am more disappointed in the people of Jamaica. But if the people of Jamaica said we can tolerate more of this, what can we say? What if they say, oh no, so not all right with it? We have to trust on a judgment, people of Jamaica, whether you have sold yourself for corned beef and bread, $5,000 or $6,000 fertilizer, KFC, or whatever you may have sold yourself for. Whatever you may have sold yourself for, I respect your decision. It's yours to make. It's you that will live in it. It's you that will live through it. Sorry, just a clearer comment for TikTok hole. It's you that will live through it. So I'm congratulating this morning the People's National Party on rebalancing democracy in our country, because that was needed. Morning, everybody. Morning and welcome. Honodu. Cheer up. It's not all doom and gloom. Andrew Holness now has stiff competition in the parliament. Andrew Holness can no longer whiff and waft us and table and pass draconian legislation in the dead of night. Andrew Holness can no longer do that. So that's a level of balancing, even though the People's National Party didn't get through what I wanted them to do. That rebalancing give me confidence that we will now be pulled back from the brink of dictatorship, as we realize we were treading down an authoritarian road, which would ultimately lead us into dictatorship if the PNP had not done so well last night. So congratulations to the People's National Party. Morning, everybody. Expect one big good morning from me, because I still tired of the multiple long broadcasts of yesterday and still have not had enough sleep. But the work continues. Our country still matters. Now, what do I mean when I say there's both party or both leaders yesterday won and both leaders lost. Mark Golding went into this election with nothing to lose. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to lose. I must congratulate the Prime Minister on his historic third term for the Jamaica Labour Party. You have now caught up with PJ Patterson, something that you wanted to do. So congratulations on that, Prime Minister. But commiseration also, Prime Minister, for the amount of soldiers that you've lost on the battlefield yesterday. That was a big loss for the... When I cannot tell you, my eyes. Oh, Britain people, you don't want to feel how sore my eye is. You know when somebody just pick up a dust, a whole handful of sawdust and just chuck it in your face, so yes. And so my eye them feel so we can't bother with the struggle of going through the 1-1 and scrolling the screen in front of me where gonna make me dizzy as well. So wanna pardon me for that. But for Andrew Holness, he came out a loser last night. He not only fought to hang on to power in the country, but he has also fought hard to hang on to his very seat. So it wasn't a comfortable win for Andrew Holness last night. Yes, he won. He now has his 3 terms, what he wanted and what he promised. Amazingly, Andrew Holness has delivered on something. Bought, fraud, or tricked. He has delivered on his 3rd term. Will he now be able to deliver on, leave the manifesto out of it? The trickery of the $32,000, the 100% raise in minimum wage, which is not a manifesto pledge, and therefore a government does not have to abide by it. Has he abided by his manifesto's pledge much in his first 2 terms? In his 2 terms, the jury is still out on that, and I think they have delivered their verdict. Because a lot of his first term squabblers really didn't make it through. Surprising to see Rhoda Crawford and Tova Hamilton made it through. Floyd Green paid his way through. That's it for Southwest St. Elizabeth. Floyd Green paid his way through the belly politics. But for Mark Golding, who went in the race with nothing to lose, came out last night as a massive winner. Mark Golding took his seat by landslide, which was not so for the Prime Minister. Mark Golding took a lot off Andrew's hand last night, which leave Andrew still under a cloud of suspicion, leading a corrupt government, which he will be held more accountable in Parliament. Given that there's going to be more investigative reports to come, we don't see where the Prime Minister's statutory declaration going forward will be certified, given that he cannot and will not provide the information to do so. So Andrew Holness won the election. I cannot say it was fair and square. I'm waiting for the observers. Based on the police vote and the concerns that a lot of police, of the security services vote, and a lot of concerns they have. Juliette Holness's behavior yesterday at one of her divisional poll, there are questions to be asked about the legitimacy of the election. That question can be asked. Some big heavyweight debaters will be. Exactly. A lot of questions ought to be asked, even about the same vote buying as well, which one of my cousins called me last night, and he said, Miranda probably have fucked up herself, as in his words. Because if Miranda paid the voters like Floyd Green did, Floyd Green wouldn't have been a competition to her. And I said, no, I don't agree with that. She shouldn't pay anybody to vote for her. Let the people vote on their conscience. If those on Fly Green side want to take money and go to the poll, fine, let them sell themselves out. But I believe somebody must decide to play fair politics where the people vote based on what they present to them or what they have done for them in the past. So, no, I don't agree that Miranda should have paid anybody to vote. I think we also have questions to ask of Gospel Brown and the Electoral Commission, but I'll wait until the election observers have their say on all of yesterday proceedings. One of the things we must say as well, the election went through without mass violence, despite how the campaign, particularly of the Jamaica Labour Party, went. So we're thankful for that. But the Prime Minister has not won comfortably. He has not. He has lost. And what that has done is provide us a balance where we can now say this autocrat will be held to account in Parliament. Now, some big people are coming in. Congratulations to Isaac Buchanan. I knew you would win. Congratulations to Dr. Dawes. I knew you would win. Peter Bunting. Dr. Dayton Campbell, the man of the show. Congratulations. Dr. Campbell is now back in Parliament. You have some powerful voices coming back to Parliament to hold the Jamaica Labour Party government to account. One of the most protective things we have, and we saw Andrew Holness use that against us a lot in his second term, where he legislates without thinking about us, the people of Jamaica. He legislates to suit him and his agenda. That now will have to stop. That is a great thing for Jamaica's democracy. And that's how much the Prime Minister lost last night, because they were hoping to continue in Parliament very strong. The people of Jamaica has balanced our Parliament, so we can look forward to legislation now that will benefit us, because with what Mark Golden has now, Andrew Holness can no longer legislate in the way he did in his second term. He can no longer do that. And we must hail the People's National Party for that, because that will help to protect our constitutional rights, which has been violated many times under this government. Dr. Tufton will be held to more account in Parliament now that Dr. Dawes is in Parliament and not on the outside. Dr. Dawes will now be able to hold Christopher Tufton properly to account. I can see Isaac Buchanan coming on the shadow bench to hold Marlene Malahoo Fort to account. So there's a lot of improvement, even though we didn't get what we wanted, and the country has not saw the liberation that we hoped for this morning. There is hope. That's why I said, don't be too disheartened. There is hope. This government will continue to struggle under a cloud of suspicion as to the Prime Minister's and members of his Parliament integrity. Now, what Mark Golden can now do is use his power of numbers against Andrew Holness when these investigative report comes out and MPs on the other side is found wanted. Mark Golding can now refuse to sit in Parliament, which would not give Andrew the full quorum, until Andrew Holness takes decision. The forcing of by-election, if this now happens, all this can weaken Andrew Holness' third term, which could make the vipers in the Jamaica Labour Party, like Tufton and others who have leadership ambitions, to go after him. Pause for a bit. I want to speak to the National Party, the People's National Party. Do not attempt the suicide you have before. I repeat, do not, People's National Party, attempt a suicide. Do not. Stand with Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell. They have led you not to the complete victory we wanted, but a successful victory for the People's National Party, which puts them back in power in our parliament. I, for one, support Mark Golding's continuous leadership of the People's National Party going forward, based on how well he has done to rebalance and retake. Mark Golding last night came out as a big winner. Andrew Holness, when it comes to his MP, came out as a big loser. He have lost many people on the battlefield. So that's something for the People's National Party to have courage in their leader. What may have been the People's National Party downfall, it's probably what was always my problem. They weren't, until the last year, a very forceful opposition. They did not utilize social media. Forget mainstream media, which they have their self-hinge on. Mainstream media is not paying us attention. They did not utilize social media enough. The Jamaica Labour Party understand the game of opposition. And Andrew Holness and his team understand the media opticking. They played that well. And I've always been saying that they played that game of opposition and media narrativing well. These are areas in the People's National Party, post-mortem of yesterday, must take into account. How do we move forward with our message to build on what we have accumulated? Disappointed though I am hopeful. Andrew Holness' power has been subdued, whether they want to agree or not. And thus, did you concede before the voters cast their vote, Miss Vaz? That was a good thing. I really wanted the husband to go as well. But it's a good thing that the rich constituency of Portland has been taken back from that family. What we will now be doing is hold the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party to full account going forward. We are not going to drop the ball because it's about our country. It is a disappointing result, but it is a promising, hopeful result that Andrew Holness's power has been cut down, not to the level that we would have wanted it, but certainly his ruthlessness in the legislature, his handing over the legislature to his wife, that now will have to stop, because Juliet Holness cannot come back as the Speaker of the House. probably Dalrymple, and I would urge the People's National Party also to block Dalrymple. Let somebody else come, because Dalrymple is still a convicted criminal, which he should have never been on the ballot. So I'm hoping that these are the things that will be rebalanced, like the committees in Parliament as well. These things, no more sister. No, she can't come back as a speaker, and I don't. And if he put Dalrymple forward as well, I hope the People's National Party black Dalrymple Filbert. She's not credible enough. Kate, that's the problem. Jamaica yesterday, the big loser in this election yesterday was Jamaica. The big loser yesterday in our election was Jamaica. Emily Shields raised a question last night, which is a valid one, and it's something that we ought to pick up on and ought to be concerned about. In a population of 3 million people, we have over 2 million eligible voters on the voters list. That is something of a concern to the nation. Is there still a lot of dead people on the list? So is people registering in multiple? You just don't know. But it doesn't sounds well that 3 million of us, and then over 2 million of us over the age of 18. That's kind of a blurry mathematics, something that I think ought to be looked into as a country. But in reality, my numbers, hold on there, how are the banner there? Where is the banner? Where is the banner? There it is on screen, please. So Jamaica was the one who lost last night, because if the vote is free and fair, the people are saying we can tolerate more of the corruption, we can tolerate more of the high cost of living, we can tolerate what we complained about, is what the people are saying. If the people sold themselves, they will have to bear the consequences of it. If there was proof of election fraud, these things are to be investigated. These things are to be investigated if there was fraud. But Juliet Holness's behavior yesterday was a major concern, because for those of you who were on our channel when we were covering the election, we saw the multiple going and coming of Juliet Holness from the Kintyre polling division. She and our police, she and our barrier, and all the mess that was created there yesterday. So if there are things to be investigated, they must be. If the people of Jamaica sold themselves out, which I know was done in my constituency, they will have to tolerate whatever comes with it. But my biggest thing coming out of all of yesterday was the rebalancing of our parliament, which Andrew Holness can no longer go through our parliament and create a legislation that suits his agenda and pass it in a matter of hours in one sitting of parliament. Something that he used to destruct the office of the political ombudsman, which is something that was critical to this election, which it's still not going to be yet sorted out, because the person who was supposed to be refereeing the election, we've yet to know who, if it is a particular person from over the EOG or what, we just don't know. So those are things that we hope will get investigated. As I said, I'm waiting until the observers. I was waiting until the observers have their say on how fair the election was and if they saw anything of a concern to them, because I'm not an observer on the ground, so I cannot speak of that. But as to East Portland, that was massive. East Portland was massive because what it has done, it has yanked the hands of the family off of a rich piece of Jamaica, which they sought to control for themselves. The people of Jamaica, and we will be holding Isaac Buchanan to his promises to the people of East Portland, because that is what it is about. We will be holding Isaac Buchanan to make sure he delivers to his people of East Portland. Now, South St. Elizabeth has kept up its historical trajectory, always be on the seat of the government benches. So for me, when I saw Miranda, Southwest St. Elizabeth declared last night, I was of the view that it was going to end in the way it ended, but not so bad for the People's National Party. They picked up all the gains, all of the gains in this general election goes to the People's National Party. They went in with nothing to lose, and they have came out with a massive win. Andrew Holness only last night won a third term. That was what Andrew Holness won last night. He won his third term that he wanted, he promised, and he delivered, and that he won his third term. That was the only one winning I saw for Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party last night. But they've lost. They've lost many people. They've lost their majority. So that's a big lose last night for Andrew Holness. Even though he has secured his third term, his power in Parliament has been diminished. He will be now more closely scrutinized and more robustly as well. His cabinet will be now matched. Andrew Holness's cabinet will be now matched by shadow opponents who will be holding them accountable, unlike it was in his third term, where Mark Golding did not have the amount of people to spread across his front bench to hold the government accountable. So this is not a free ride. This is not a free ride for the Prime Minister. Of course, the Prime Minister won his third term, and we congratulate him on that. But other than winning his third term last night, Andrew Holness lost a lot. Andrew Holness lost a lot last night. He lost his majority in Parliament. He loses his power. He loses control of his wife heading the legislature. Now, remember, there's three branches of government, and the Prime Minister and his wife control two of the branches. Now their hands will be yanked off the head of the legislature, and he will have to place someone. Steve McGregor was also a big win last night, because that seat has come back into the People's National Party fold. Westmoreland was a good sweep as well. Dr. Dayton Campbell, Karen Cross. Even though Karen Cross, we didn't get Mark Golden through to the government benches, but you must admit, Karen Cross, those people who bother you most, Dr. Dayton Campbell, Peter Mercott Bunting, Ian Hills, those people who you, they are in the representative now, not in the Senate or not outside ooming, yarming, and warning. They, Karen Cross, are in the House of Representatives now. And I must congratulate Karen Cross for highlighting these people, give them national prominence, Karen Cross. You help. No, Pat Moore didn't won last night. Dalrymple roast the whole cow, we heard. Dalrymple, yes, Karen Cross, go to Manchester, go campaign for Peter Bunting win, because your opposition, Karen Cross, has, and you and your team loud shouting for the last 4 or 5 years about Dr. Campbell, Peter Bunting, and Mark Golden. You have raised them to a level of national prominence that has secured their seat in Parliament, even though we didn't get what we wanted, Karen Cross. But you yourself this morning must be as disappointed as a lot of us. Not that comrades didn't make it to the government bench fully, but that your major opponents, those who you fought hard against, those who you tried to diminish, Karen Cross, they have made it into the House of Representatives, not in the Senate, my dear, in the House of Representatives. That must be very, very disappointing for you this morning. What is the Debbie, we is the Dalrymple roast a whole cow. We don't know if she used any of the potato them what she teeth and rather. Flight Green ought to be investigated for rather fertilizer. A whole truckload of fertilizer was unloaded at Flight Green's property and Crane Road. And Flight Green and Dr. Bamadili, because I told you this before the election. Dr. Bamadili, I heard, was offering $30,000 and $15,000 for votes. I spoke of this on Monday. Floyd Green may have won. And I'm not really saying congratulations to Floyd Green, because I know Floyd Green did not contest the election fairly. But you have won. To the people of Southwest St. Elizabeth, that's your lot. I wouldn't say congratulations to the minister. Floyd Green did not contest the election fairly. Floyd Green and Dr. Bamadili bought a lot of votes. Floyd Green, I told you, was in the constituency for 2-3 weeks period, buying votes and opening bills at bar. This is the belly politics of Southwest St. Elizabeth. So with Floyd Green and Miranda Wellington, it wasn't a fair competition. And like me saying congratulations to the Prime Minister, I don't think it would be worthy of me to say congratulations to Floyd Green, because I know of a fact that Mr. Green did not fight a free and fair election. Mr. Green, even nomination day, every t-shirt delivered by Mr. Green have a 6,000 Jamaican dollars attached to it. Southwest St. Elizabeth people are cheap. They will sell themselves cheap. Them have to deal with it. Because Floyd Green paid for delegate and runners yesterday, even people who decide that they weren't going to vote. Floyd Green said go pay them, And then people then pick them up and then go vote. So it wasn't a fair contest, like as my family were saying to me, Miranda should have paid people. No, I don't agree. She should not have. Floyd Green should have contested the election fairly, and then we would respect that result. But I may have respect the national result, but I don't respect the result of Southwest St. Elizabeth. Neither do I respect the result of South Trelawney. Those were belly results. There may be many other across the country, but those two were belly results. The people of the constituency, they have to deal with. But me hear foreign people are checking on the Jamaican. Hey, let me carry the news. Jamaicans, let me carry the news. Me hear foreign people are checking on no more barrel. No more of us borrowing from Peter to go pay Paul. And then when Peter book we upon road, we have to duck and dive from Peter. I saw me hear the people them say, Jamaica people. So I have to talk it. Oh, me get it. The people them say, we not go deficient ourselves. We not go work 2 and 3 job to send to people where feel say they can better off with a government bleeding the public purse. I saw the people them are foreign, I say. So then so enough to beg them no more credit, beg on the leaders. Then so enough to beg them no more money, enough to go find work because the unemployment rate is low. Yes, Andre Harton see Marlene Malahoo fought ride donkey to power. All right, Marlene Malahoo fought ride donkey and give away. This is the problem why re-education in our society matters. The re-education of our people matters. Or we have to do it through social engineering in our parliament. This is why it's not the first you've heard me said this. Because of how we are structured psychologically in the political spheres of our country, it has come to the time where I think mandatory voting is a way to solve a lot of the problems we're facing in our election cycle. One, low voter turnout, which has not improved. 4% and from the last general election. So regardless of the euphoria of the people during those weeks of campaign from nomination to election day, it's just about their belly. It's just about being out on the campaign and get lunch bought for them and all of those things. It is not been translated to people coming out and voting on either side of the fence. That is why I think either we are going to do it through education by reintroducing civic and a lot of other things, civic and history, or we have to legislate it in the people's psyche that we cannot allow the lesser part, the minority of the populace, to decide where the country direction goes. It is one of the dangers of democracy, where a minority of the voting populace, election cycle in and out, decide where the country goes. Coupled with that, in that low minority of the populace, you have people who are willing to sell their participatory. So we need to either do it through social engineering, whether it be by education or legislation. But I think it gets to the time where we need to impose mandatory voting in our country. That even if the MP appear you to come out, by law, you must come out. And that would, regardless of whatever result we come up with in the election, they will be seen as more free and fair. And it is the majority of the peoples in the country that has made the decision to take the country in whichever direction it goes. A major concern for me that has come out, and this is a true concern, that has come out of last night's victory for the JLP third term, is the children of Jamaica and the rural bus system. And this is not playing politics. How much of our children are we prepared to bury? How much of our children are we prepared to bury in what is coming, the rollout of a rural bus transportation system, which have major security concerns, which have not been taken into account by this government? Because if it's rural school bus, we expect it to go into the rural areas of Jamaica to take those children out of those areas where it would be otherwise difficult or expensive. We know, we have seen that these buses are not suitable for our roadways. They are just not suitable for our roadways. That is one of the things that I was hopeful of, that we can get to stop the kill of our children in the rolled out of these buses, because it's not what we want. But based on what we have seen on these buses moving around the country, I can think no other way than carnage. And it will be for you, the people of Jamaica, to shoulder the blame and the responsibility of our children being placed in danger by this very government. This will be a consequence for the people of Jamaica. But you cannot say, though, before it happened, before the election, we did not warn you. That is my biggest concern coming out of last night. The dangers ahead in the rollout of this rural bus system. Because other than labor rights, I really don't see the rest of Jamaica hooting and tooting about the rural school bus system. And we who live in Jamaica know, say, some of we road them, even a normal size car has problem. Never mind, the bus them were bigger than the road. The bus them were, it will cause traffic a morning time, because what you will now have to have is a lollipop man, or you have to have a common near the school them where the bus drive go over the common and let off the children them, in order not to cause a havoc of one, holding up traffic by have to stop in everybody so the children them can unload out in the middle of the road, or we're putting our children in danger of being hit by other motorists. So there are many security concerns of the new rural, the rural old bus system, trainer policy buses, that were not taken into concern and still is not a concern of this government, because they're hell-bent and rolling it out. So the third term for Andrew Holness may have created dangers for your children, may have created massive danger for your children. Were you fooled? Was it the 100% raise in the minimum wage? Was that what caught your eyes? And you say, boy, that look good. One first thing to be aware of, it is not a manifesto pledge. It is not. The 100% raise in the minimum wage is not a manifesto pledge. It was a campaign speech. It's quite different to a manifesto pledge. You can hold them to their campaign speech, but you really hold government to their manifesto pledge. It wasn't a manifesto pledge. It was a campaign speech. It is much different. It's not a policy. But a manifesto pledge is a thought out policy by the government before they present it to you. A manifesto policy as well is also presented on paper, not just drawn out of thin cloud. Hold on there. Not just drawn out of thin cloud to woo you at the votes. So the Prime Minister don't have to stick to it because it's nothing that he promised on paper. If that is, you're saying that is better than the 3.5. No. The Prime Minister said he's going to spread it over the life of this Parliament, which could be 4 or 5 years. So it's not that you're going to get an immediate 100% rise in the minimum wage. No, not that. Or it's not that you're going to get it at once next year or so. It's not that. If it is done, it will be trickled over the next 5 years, which given inflation, you really will not feel it. Trust me. You will not feel it. Given inflation and high cost of living, you will not feel it. What you would have felt better is come next year, April, a heavy income tax burden is lifted from a broad sway of the Jamaican people on the lower end of the economic ladder. That is what you were guaranteed by the People's National Party for next April the 1st. Those of you who work under 3.5 million won't be paying any income tax. If you work 6 million, you will only pay income tax on 2.5 million. You were guaranteed that at once. At once, you were going to save a lot of money. How much do you think, given the slow trickle to come off the minimum wage, if it comes, because you know, say, this year Prime Minister and a ramp to go back on his manifesto pledge or to fail to deliver on his manifesto pledge. What would have saved you more money? What would have made your life better off is come next year, you're saving a lot of what the taxman would have taken from you. You would have had that to spread over things that you were having problem with. So if that's what you sold yourself out for, the 100% rise as opposed to the heavy tax burden lifted from those on the lower end of the scale, then we have to accept that Jamaica people may be done like me and Dean Jackson Miller when it come to mathematics. That last night, say Dean Jackson done like me when it come to counting. In a on paper, me done when it come to counting. So in a head even was thorough. And last night, me realized Dean Jackson Miller did done like me number wise. What a load of internet problem across the country last night, Jamaica. There was a massive internet debacle across the entire country last night. Me don't know. Have to Daryl Vaz will have to tell us if it was a overload on the what's it or other they would call it. If it was just overload, too much of us. All of us in the country were tapped into the internet. I don't know. But something happened last night. So much major broadcasters keep getting knocked off air last night by bad internet signal. So, me don't know. But a person like me who respects the process of democracy, the people have spoken. I may not agree, but I respect their choices. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to still speak up for them. But I have to respect their choices. They say we can tolerate more of this. They say corruption is not really an issue for us. They, the people of Jamaica, say the drain of public resources is not really our issue. The fraudulent procurement processes that bleeds the public purse is really not an issue for us. Government unable to account for trillions is not an issue for us. The healthcare that we have to endure, want to stop complaining, want to stop work and complain to it. Because let me get myself into this now. I have had nothing but abuse, particularly on Facebook, from members of the Jamaica Labour Party about my cancer and my HIV. Something which I really don't have problem with. Something which I don't have major medical concern or worries about because I'm taken good care of by my several medical teams out of my taxpayers' money, which I don't have to take any money out of my hands. I have a cardiologist specialist that monitors my heart because of my blood pressure. I have my oncologist that monitors me because of the cancer diagnosis. I have my urologist that monitors me because of the area where the cancer was in that urological area, from your kidney to your bladder to your all the other bits. My HIV specialist is one of the most excellent in my care. They don't let me stay in queue for anything. This was why, Jamaica, I was diagnosed with cancer on the 22nd of May and had it removed on the 21st of July. I am receiving excellent care where I live. Those are the things, even though those are the things on a comfortable use to bash me, those are the things I stand up for you all for. So when you go to hospital and if you need to be admitted, there's a bed there. There are the whatever your medical professional need to take care of you, they have it. If you need to do a diagnostic that would help you to find out what is wrong with you to get it sorted before it gets too worse, I have access to all of these. These are the things that I was fighting for you for. Regardless of how Brittany is, I have great health care here. Don't have to pull out a penny at the point of need. Even one of my friends from Jamaica, when I spoke about my diagnosis, called me and said, do you want to create a GoFundMe to fund your operation? I said, I don't live in America. If I was living in America, I may have had to do that if I couldn't afford to have it through my insurance or such a like or such a forth. But I live in what I call a good system, a good social system. That if I'm unwell, I don't have to suffer and die needlessly because of negligence and lack of resources. Take Cornwall Regional into the whole thing. Take the debacle of our theaters. Take the debacle of our major hospitals. These are the things that we were fighting for to improve. However, the people of Jamaica say that is not important to us. We have to respect them. Them love, them love hard life. What you want we to do? Put with foot, put them down that and put with foot pan, then they can ring hard life out of their hand. No. Me meant to talk sense into them so they can think, given what they are experiencing around them. Because when I go to a casualty department in the United Kingdom, they have a certain hours. It has, I think, gone back up to about 6 or 7 now. But under Tony Blair, they have to see us in 4 hours. The waiting time may have gone up, even though casualty, there would have to be a lot of trauma like accidents and gunshot and stabbings coming up. So you got casualty go sit down in England for 7 hours. It would be weird. You are going to sit down and wait for quite some time, like maybe 3-4 hours or so. But sit down in a casualty for 4 hours or for the pan chair for weeks and days. These are what we are fighting for, Jamaicans. But you have said to us, you can deal with that. We have to respect it. But me just want to say the people them in the diaspora say, not out of my pocket. Not out of my pocket, said the people them in the diaspora. The barrel, the Western Union, the MoneyGram, the suitcase and the this and that when other peoples are coming down. The call on a family fit up up. Them say, I know me I say, you know. I mean, I have to still keep up to my Jamaica expenses with my father and my nephew. I still have to keep up. But Jamaica people, the people them say, they must say, judgment, labor rights. You don't win, you know labor rights, but you don't do happy. Labor rights, you don't win, but you don't do happy. I don't should I'm happy with you not winning. A dirty win is still a win, labor rights. So you can't happy with a dirty win. You never play it fair. Look, Gillette Oldness yesterday. Floyd Green and Dr. Bama Dilly went on a vote buying spree in Southwest St. Elizabeth. And I would urge Miranda Wellington to tour the constituency and congratulate the people. Tell them thank you. Because the people who came out to vote for Miranda Wellington were genuine voters. Miranda Wellington, even nomination day, like how even a lot of other People's National Party candidates used to buy petrol and put money in a paper bag. Miranda never do that. She was playing it fair. And I agree with that. I honestly agree with that. But we're not going to stop playing with political song them. We still love them.
Political song in history.
My father Banya, my father Banya, my grandmother Banya, my grandmother Banya, Ayana Banya, Ayana Banya, my leader Banya, my leader Banya. That's why I not live. No, I not live. He gave I a message to all those people who no love progress, who no love progress. Say to do them with land lease. Say to do them with land lease. pioneer for. Juke with the pioneer for. Juke with Jamal. Juke with Jamal. Then you juke them with free education. Juke them with free education. Equal pay for women. Equal pay for women. Juke them with the minimum wage. Juke them with the minimum wage. My leader Panya. My leader Panya. So let me die in Hallelujah.
Now, to the media community, they call us vloggers. Congratulations to you all. You have stand in the missing gap. What is the missing gap? Mainstream media. Those who are meant to hold government to account. Those who swung fully on the side of the government to the point where they even lost their job. George Davis. But congratulations to all of us, friends and enemies, foes, and those who I don't like or dislike. Congratulations. We have stood for the people of Jamaica. Even though they have, to a point, rejected our advances to say, you know what, people of Jamaica, especially for those of us in the diaspora, you deserve better. With good governance, you can have better health care, better education, better roads that they continue to promise you. The minimum that our government on their job description is the delivery of roads, water, lights, and to improve our communities. Year in, year out, they have not done that. We were preparing this morning to start holding Mount Golden's government to account after 100 days. It is not so. So we will have to continue to hold the Jamaica Labour Party government to account. It is still our country. And congratulations to Dayton Campbell and Mount Golden and the entire team who have brought us back, brought us, the people of Jamaica, back into the framework, because for the last 5 years, it was about Andrew Holness and what he wants to do with our parliament. That can no longer be so. And even in our despair this morning, that is something we ought to celebrate, the rebalancing of the democratic process in our parliament. It is a massive win that has came out of Mark Golden's move yesterday that delivered 15 added seats to the 14 they had. Imagine if the Jamaica Labour Party didn't kill cow, distribute fertilizer, pay for votes, and issue water tanks, ride donkey, and go around asking people, your water jump full up? Just imagine. The PNP has not lost. The massive winner of last night was the People's National Party, because they have rebalanced the thing. They have squeezed Andrew into a smallest operating space in our legislature. The Prime Minister is going to still, there was an article published by ABC News yesterday. ABC News was saying Jamaicans are going to the poll under a cloud of corruption, lack of integrity, and brew down the blah, blah, and all of that. Away there. But those on the international scene, Jamaicans goes to the poll shaken. Jamaica Prime Minister Andrew Holness. No, not this one me look for. This is their up-to-date article. Where was the one yesterday? But there was an article put out by ABC yesterday where Jamaica go to the poll. Oh, Jamaica goes to the poll as the island shaken by corruption, In inequity, Lord, me always had a problem with the word there last school, and economic concerns. Even though the Prime Minister said we have the best brouhaha, the lem de la, and to hold us elected to third term as main opposition candidates concedes. But their first article yesterday, we're going to the poll on the cloud of corruption, inequity, and economic concerns. Oh, my iPad battery soon go, but I have 10% on it. Still, I go keep my program them in the usual 1 hour or so limit. But as I said to the People's National Party earlier, do not commit a suicide. Mark Golding has done well. Given that the Prime Minister controls the electoral machine, the ombudsman, the referee for the election and the election machine, the Prime Minister controls both of them. We saw the open vote buying in public by distributing drum, chicken, fertilizer. Those are vote buying. Those are vote buying. The People's National Party, in my view, make a fair shot at it, and they have came out with successes last night. You have people like Isaac Buchanan coming in who can hold Marlene Malahou Fort accountable properly, who doesn't understand the Constitution. Now there's someone on the opposition bench that is versed in the Constitution that can bullshit down Marlene Malahou Fort when she stand up with her pluff, pluff, pluff. Donna Scott Motley will be able from the Senate as Attorney General, or they can, not Attorney General, Justice Minister, to hold them to account, even though ISAT can do that in the Parliament as well. You have people like Peter McGregor and Peter Bunting and Steve McGregor who are going to hold Dr. Chang and Andrew Holness to account when it comes to the national security issues. You have a giant like Dr. Campbell that is coming to hold Floyd Green to account. You have a Dr. Dawes who knows what he's talking about. Not talking about market mean. Will be able to hold Christopherson properly to account. So there were some big wins last night. There was some massive improvement for you last night, PNP. Even though you didn't get on the government bench, you must celebrate that win. Andrew Holness only won the third term. He lost. Mark Golding didn't lose any team last night. Andrew Holness lost many soldiers last night, to the point where the Prime Minister himself fought tooth and nail to hang on to even his own constituency. That's also an indictment of the Prime Minister. Your constituency is split, Prime Minister. You won by what? Just 1,000 votes or so as a Prime Minister. Prime Ministers normally have safe seat. You see, like how Mark Golding slaughter his opponent, Prime Minister. That's what is expected of a Prime Minister. But you fought last night. Your seat was one of the nail biters last night, Prime Minister, because many of your people were declared before you. I'm sure a lot of them were looking on last night like Christopherson, Floyd Green, Mattis Samuda, and said, could this fucker has fallen so tomorrow morning we conjure up between ourselves who heads the party? Because certainly we wouldn't go forward with Dr. Chang. Dr. Chang cannot lead the country where he cannot go to foreign to sit down and speak to other foreign leaders, you see. So they will be conjuring up between themselves. Andrew Holness now has to watch his back. The stab Andrew Holness, could come at any time, given that 10 of your MPs are out in the wood, that if it gets to the wire, they may have to step aside like the thief Mary Sedal went for Filbert. That even makes the Prime Minister more weaker. A government bench under investigation. Wanna ask a question for me? Can yes, I'm done. Wanna ask a question for me? Labor rights. Uno don't win. All uno win last night is a third term. Labor rights. Labor rights. Morning. You only won a third term last night. The question, though, labor rights, was that third term fair and square? That's the question that the nation must ask themselves. All of a sudden, 4 boxes give over 1,500 votes. Yes, love. That's the question the nation must be asking themselves this morning. Was it a free and fair election? And as I said, I'm waiting for the observers rather, to have their pronouncement on what they have observed. But Filbert was allowed to come back, yet he claimed to be transparent for integrity. Well, the Jamaica Party is still out on the Nolan principles, the 7th strand of good governance. They're still refusing to sign up to it, you know. So even though, given a third term, they are still not saying to the nation, we promise to govern with integrity, transparency, accountability, fairness, and what the other things I didn't know that principle, but all of the 7 principles of good governance, they're still saying to the nation, that doesn't matter. And why they can say that? The nation said to them yesterday, corruption, lack of transparency, lack of accountability doesn't really matter to us. So if the nation fraudulently or been bought or been tricked is saying to them, that's not our concern. Why then would you think that is a concern of the government when it's not a concern to you, the electorate? So labor rights, congratulations on your 3rd term. You have all caught up with the People's National Party now. It was one of your dreams. You have achieved it. Yet, though, it wasn't a massive win. Your power was diminished. Mark Bolden and his team did amazingly well. I want to thank you all for being here this morning on analyzing the aftermath of the election. And please do, Jamaica. It is September and a new Andrew Holness regime. Pray for your children. Pray for your children. That's all I can say to you. We can't say more because we can't stop the rollout of the school bus system now. One of the reasons why we were fighting hard is to prevent your children from being massacred by a government that has no care for its people. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV. Please do join us back this evening. If you're not fall asleep in time, if you're not see me, I know that I'm tired, the old body tired. Because, not telling a lie, the election burned me out. Remember, say, all me rest when I did plan for take when we come out of hospital. I come back to work, like a week or a week and add. So, this election really burned me out, but the work continues. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the front. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.